We had a client who had sugar diabetes, and he came to us because he wanted us to cure his sugar issue, but his desire wasn't really to be cured. He wanted us to cure that he could eat donuts.
This man, let me tell you, this man said, I want a soul clearing, but will I be able to still eat McDonald's with the soul clearing? I said, boy,
I said, you can eat McDonald's, you can do whatever you want. But the reason you're getting the soul clearing is because your doctor told you you are critical, but he
Yeah.
didn't want the disease cleared. He wanted the ability to eat all the things he lusted after with sugar in it,
just wild.
which, and including brownies laced with marijuana, whatever it
Yeah,
was.
that was the thing.
Yeah, whatever it was. So most of us operate like that. Like, I'm not in harmony with not taking whatever drugs, watching the porn. I don't want to stop doing that. I just want the part that's killing me to stop.
Oh, well, damn, that's crazy, because it's like,
Yeah, I want to do it, but I
ignoring
don't
of
want it
cause
to.
and effect, like
Yeah,
this
I want to
laws and
do it
principles.
without it killing me. Like, I'd like to eat all the sugar I can get in my mouth at one time, but I don't want it to affect me. Would you clear that? I'm like, no. I can
I'm
clear
almost
that.
like, we gotta start talking about this, because I feel myself like, I feel the flame inside of me growing, like, this don't make no type of sense. What does this person want?
Because the person hasn't felt the freedom that you feel when you fast.
Well, so
Once you have that power, the sugar doesn't mean the same thing. But what the sugar gives you the false, like, oh,
it's that false light. Get that false light.
the sugar gives you that, like, ooh, feeling good. I put a donut in the car.
Yeah.
When
Just
I
like
drop down, I gotta eat another one.
the brown party liquor, Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm loose now. I'm able to be myself and confident.
I'm relaxed.
Yeah.
Welcome to Call for the Truth. I am LaOta of the Sun, and this is Tarvars of the Sun. And we are inviting you to join us in our conversation about relationships. But before we do, Tarvars, will you bring us into the Call for Truth?
Most certainly. We encourage you all to join us in the call for the truth. Should we call forth the frequency of truth? Should we call to see the truth in all that we see? Should we call to hear the truth in all that we hear? Shall we call to speak the truth, calling forth the courage to speak the truth? Shall we call forth nothing less than the truth to come forward into our experience? And we are in the truth.
And it feels good.
It feels good. Yeah. So, speaking of truth, we have been traversing from the throat chakra in our like body activation.
Yes.
And which
Very
is the realm
exciting.
of truth, see truth, speak truth, hear truth. Shout out to the blue and the call for the truth divination cards. And we are now in the third eye, and we have a topic that is focused on the third eye. So our card pull today is the theme consciousness. And the maxim reads, the future is constantly changing its potentialities exponentially based on what is being thought. The book further states, new worlds are being birthed from new thoughts. One of the first things that comes to mind is I think about relationships, our relationship with people around us, how we're thinking about them, wanting somebody to change, but we can't help but think about the same dissatisfying experience that we've had with them time and time again, but we're expecting them to be different. Or maybe even this extends out beyond into our world, socially, culturally, where we want a different world, but what's based on what's being thought, we continue to feed
Yeah.
the experience with the same level of thought that produced it.
Yes.
So that's where my mind's going, but where would you like to take us with this?
I think this is so provocative because it explains everything and then it shows us how we did it. because we are the responsible party in this.
Yeah, they say the solution is in the problem.
Yes, it actually does. So here we find ourselves in an uncomfortable position. Let's just say the empire were.
Let's just say, hypothetically speaking.
Yeah, that the empire was deconstructing.
All right.
We were humans on the in the society of the empire that's deconstruction and deconstructing, and in that process, things are happening that are against humanity, against us, and that are part of the process of deconstructing. But if we're not mindful, we may blow up with the volcano. So we have to be mindful that we keep our eye on the future possibilities and opportunities that could exist after the thing that is deconstructing deconstructs. So that could be a relationship, and it's a relationship with us in this cultural experience, but it could be our own relationships too, where we know how this works, and we've been part of it. We were actually aspects of it, keeping it going. Maybe we have had significant input in our educational and work experiences and our social media that all kept the engine going. And now we see, so you want to pull back. But we keep referencing what the pain point. Yeah, but they did so-and-so to me, or they didn't pay me, or they could maybe work overtime, or they were unfair, or my school didn't teach me what I wanted to know, or my mother didn't send me to art school, or whatever it is. All of those ideas. My parents didn't do as much for me as they should have. This is keeping the old empire together. We're not recognizing that the empire is trying to self-destruct, and we're trying to crazy glue it back together, all the pieces that are the pain points.
It's like, I'm not ready for it to fall. Don't fall yet. Yeah. Hypothetically speaking, that is,
yes,
right?
I still want to get that 2027 Cadillac.
Right? Waiting for the new drop.
Well, my new iPhone.
Right? The next season of one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that Korean skincare. The new one to hit.
Yeah, so the system must sustain. Empire can't fall yet.
Like, I want it to fall, but a little.
Yeah.
I want it to fall where the part that I want falls on me. Not the other part.
Interesting.
So I can see where our consciousness is being. We're getting a telescopic view of our microscopic insert into the consciousness of humanity. Like, just us wanting the thing keeps the thing going. Once we unplug, as you use that language, once you unplug, then you don't want the thing, and now the opportunity for the new thing exists in the consciousness.
I like fasting a lot.
Yes.
I really enjoy fasting,
Yeah.
and I can see how fasting is a very fractalized experience where we can fast mentally through thought, what we're giving mental energy to. And I like what you were saying earlier, the imagination. Imagine we were part of a world where the empire was deconstructed. Well, the fasting with how our imagination is being utilized to focus on the worst case scenario, or continuing to feed something through the hard-held attention to what is wrong versus what is a new reality that I can experience, and then trusting that the new reality, the potentiality will be brought forth and exponentially. So would you speak about this exponential part? Because exponentially, my takeaway is, if I focus on this, it feels as though the moment my thought energy moves into this direction, everything is cascading. It's like a stream that's exponentially rippling into that direction, meaning something else, the imaginary empire, becomes deconstructed.
Can you remember something that you were addicted to, or that was not in your best interest, that you used to do, that you're willing to talk about?
Yeah.
Would you say it?
I would say, hold on a second. I'm gonna check what my guidance is here. Yeah, my guidance is like saying it. Pornography.
Okay, so once you decide to fast from pornography, then you have a different view of it. So that reality, your consciousness, moves out of that territory and moves into a new arena where that does not exist as a stimulant because you have chosen through conscious will to identify it as something you don't want, which is really the decision is the first thing. You decide you don't want it, and then you start carving a reality and a consciousness where it doesn't exist. And then you're free of the pull that it had on your brain and on your body, the chemical pull that it creates, the hormones that are produced from allowing such a thing to happen.
Yes, yes. And then also how it says new worlds are being birthed through new thoughts. I can see how it allowed for new thought to arise
Yes.
in every arena, but
Yes.
primarily, just being very forthright, the perception of women, the perception of myself, the exchange of life force energy, all of that began to change through the abstaining.
Yes, and other opportunities open because once you figured out you could do that, you're like, oh, I could not eat. Oh, I could.
It was a wrap. But, funny enough,
Because that
all of
was a
it,
big one. That's a big hormonal, biological information going into all of your cells and organs of a wrong distribution of energy.
so funny enough, the two are almost paired together because when I fast physically, I feel this impulse to fast from many things,
Yes.
and so it helped in a sense in that
Yeah.
that space and time. But in general, again, seeing how it required control over the mind because the mind is what's hijacked, the endocrine system, the hormones, as you say. So would you speak a little bit more about like what's happening with us in terms of like the hijacking of the mind? Because I want to be more succinct in what I'm saying. I see that there are forces out here that rely on us leaving the door wide open.
Yeah.
We done left the front door open, the back door open, all the windows are open. We've removed the screens from the windows.
Our friends are outside saying, go there, do that.
Yeah, like it's a lot, and there's foot traffic, and it's like this occupying of the mind or real estate of the mind, and it's influencing the broadcast of thoughts. It's essentially a hijacking, unwanted guess.
Yeah. So when that happens, inevitably, whether it's from that particular thing or from drugs or from being in appeasement or whatever the thing is, when that happens, it leaves you powerless. And when you get tired of feeling powerless and you make the decision that you're going to gain power through whatever ways are available to you, including fasting. I have fasted extensively over many decades, and I'm here to tell you, you feel powerful.
It's like, ooh, nothing can touch me. No. No.
No.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean that you have to fast at the way that you have progressed to where you are now.
It's different.
Even if you miss a meal and you have cognizance that you have power to not be afraid that you're missing a meal. The fear that has been instilled in us about all of the things that are addictive, like if you don't listen to the news, you won't know what's going on. I haven't listened to the news in years. And nothing's going on.
Yeah.
And whatever is going on, I'm equipped for it. And I'm also on a need to know basis. Somebody tell me if I need to know.
You like,
So I'm not addicted to television. I'm not addicted to, I don't even know if they still have stories on television that people used to have.
I don't know, but I feel like that
That
type
was
of
an
stuff
addiction.
is still present
In
at
my-
some level.
In my mother's time, I remember her being addicted to coffee. And she didn't watch television, but I remember all her friends were addicted to the stories.
Yeah. Young and restless.
Yes. And whatever the rest of them
Yeah,
were.
right. They're all of the same
Yeah,
flavor.
and then later to talk shows and things like
Yeah.
that. But the point
Oh,
being is,
gosh.
once you decide, once it gets to the point where you have to get home to watch your story, what I mean, like I have to stop talking to you. Like I know you're a living, live person contributing to my expansion, but I got to go because my story's on. Or, you can't pass up some brown party liquor, or just because someone else is smoking marijuana, you feel compelled to be friendly.
Yeah. Like, I guess a little hit ain't gonna hurt.
Yeah. So
Watch out.
all of those things are the seduction of enslavement. The clear choice to decide, I feel free enough not to eat. That's a revolutionary expansion of consciousness. And then once you do it successfully for a length of time, you'll be like, that's right. I'm feeling powerful because you have gotten back some level of command over your brain and yourself, and the visceral feeling is you're aware of it.
Yeah. It's almost, I think, no greater feeling than being sovereign and free.
It's a
Where
degree of it.
It's
Yes.
even though I gave examples of no, it's more of like I'm free to say yes to the thing that I want to and no to what doesn't serve me. And it's like you kind of get a taste. But this, I'm going to feed it back into this card. The future is constantly changing its potentialities exponentially based on what is being thought. Recognizing that the thoughts that I've had or entertained influence actions that produce behaviors that did not serve me. It did not give energy. It did not, because there's a lot of things out there that we engage in that we think we're getting something, but it's really pulling on our life force and creating a negative reality. Like, for example, I know you mentioned the stories, but people who like the drama shows, where it's like love dramas, things like that. And like, and then you look around in your life and then there's like love drama, it's like they're living what they've been consuming and it's influencing their thoughts. But again, this changing the thought, it's again so liberating and so powerful, but it allows, or it pops, I think once we kind of get in the pocket, it allows us to see like, ooh, I can actually create reality once I take back some level of control, because I'm still not in complete control, but like enough where I know that, ooh, the moment I think a new thought, I could feel the do-do-do-do, or the wave ripple out into a new direction.
And it works in reverse. I have a sister who loved romance novels. So she would go to the airport and load up with her romance novels.
Them dirty books. You'd be like, yeah, in the airport, I got time. I got a layover. Speaking of layover.
All of these kinds of experiences that really we're looking to feel alive. So I still haven't gotten to the exponential part. So we're looking to feel alive, and we think, you know what, this romance novel might wake me up, or we're thinking, I was invited to this thing, and if I do this thing, maybe I'll loosen up and become more alive and.
Yeah, more myself.
Yes, but what actually happens is everything is looking for real estate to take a part of you, including the romance novel, including the afternoon show, including getting high, all of those things, and we justify it by saying we need to relax from our life of relaxation. Like I haven't relaxed enough in all my other decisions. I need to relax from my other decisions. So I need
I'm over here like, don't try to make sense of what don't make sense.
So the exponential part is once you become aware of the power of not being afraid that you can do whatever you choose to do. You can not eat for 30 days or for 30 minutes. And in that, there's power. Yes.
So I just had a thought, because you mentioned something like it can go both ways, and I'm thinking like, ooh, like the entertainment or entertaining of thoughts that do not support your life, like it can exponentially send things into the
Yes.
other direction
does.
and start creating undesirable realities.
It does. We had a client who had sugar diabetes, and he came to us because he wanted us to cure his sugar issue, but his desire wasn't really to be cured. He wanted us to cure that he could eat donuts.
This man, let me tell you, this man said, I want a soul clearing, but will I be able to still eat McDonald's with the soul clearing? I said, boy,
I said, you can eat McDonald's, you can do whatever you want. But the reason you're getting the soul clearing is because your doctor told you you are critical, but he
Yeah.
didn't want the disease cleared. He wanted the ability to eat all the things he lusted after with sugar in it,
just wild.
which, and including brownies laced with marijuana, whatever it
Yeah,
was.
that was the thing.
Yeah, whatever it was. So most of us operate like that. Like, I'm not in harmony with not taking whatever drugs, watching the porn. I don't want to stop doing that. I just want the part that's killing me to stop.
Oh, well, damn, that's crazy, because it's like,
Yeah, I want to do it, but I
ignoring
don't
of
want it
cause
to.
and effect. Like
Yeah,
this,
I want to
laws and
do it
principles.
without it killing me. Like, I'd like to eat all the sugar I can get in my mouth at one time, but I don't want it to affect me. Would you clear that? I'm like, no, I can't
I'm
clear
almost
that.
like, we gotta start talking about this, because I feel myself like, I feel the flame inside of me growing. Like, this don't make no type of sense. What does this person want?
Because the person hasn't felt the freedom that you feel when you fast.
Well, so
Once you have that power, the sugar doesn't mean the same thing. But what the sugar gives you the false, like,
it's that false light. Get that false light.
the sugar gives you that, like, ooh, feeling good. I put a donut in the car.
Yeah. That's like,
when
just
I
like
drop down, I gotta eat another one.
the brown party liquor, Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm loose now. I'm able to be myself and
Yeah,
confident.
I'm relaxed.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
So I'm
Yeah,
bringing up this example to say, do we really know what we want? And have we given ourselves an opportunity to see what power feels like? Even the smallest, just a little tea light, just like light a little tea candle. Can we see that, ooh, it's not dark in here. It's only 3 feet not dark, but
Yeah, but it's like, oh, I was able to keep the fire going. So one of the things that is
Yeah.
rising in my mind that I see as a connecting thread is discipline. Discipline to hold the thought, whatever it may be, whether it's fasting or, sustaining your light and in your happy place, your joy, whatever it may look like. I see it requires a level of discipline, but I also see that we have a weird relationship with discipline. I remember growing up, discipline was like, you're going to get some pow-pow, time out, it's going to be bad. And then I know I had a lot of programming to undo, because of the rejection of discipline, but seeing how discipline actually gives freedom, it gives
Yeah.
sovereignty, and I again see that that's what has helped me sustain some levels of freedom
it's so funny
on my
because
my tea light.
your example, I think, is what many have. That example, what I see in the word is hold the line. Like, hold the line. Like, don't let the line go slack. Like, hold the line
Yeah.
in whatever it is you want to do. You want to be healthy, hold the line for 24 hours. Give yourself 24 hours to keep yourself from being so afraid that you jump the line. Then you've got 24 hours again in front of you. Then you can hold the line for 24 hours more. It's like the example I give of the man who wants to stop smoking and carries a cigarette in his pocket, and then every time he wants to have the cigarette, he takes it out and decides again, no, I have chosen not to have this as my reality. And then he puts it back in his pocket and keeps it close so that he can affirm his holding the line of his discipline. So the exponential part is you do that for 21 days.
That line's going to take you somewhere.
Yes. You're going to end up somewhere at the end of that.
It's a thin, narrow road, huh? Thin, narrow road. Stay the course.
And then you have catapulted over 21 days. You've catapulted over the fear, over the old stories that you tell yourself, over the old memories of what you say, pow pow, over
the distortion of what we think disappointment
whatever the
is.
distortion is that you then allow. So that kind of a distortion then allows you to be rebellious and miss all kinds of opportunities because you won't hold the line in your own interests, not only in your detriment.
Yeah.
So
So, what does the future of money look like to you, Alex?
The future of money won't be about what we use. It'll be about who we trust. We're heading into a world where money is no longer paper. It's data. Central bank, digital currencies, programmable payments, and surveillance systems will redefine how value moves. But here's the twist. The more digital it gets, the more people will crave something real. That's why gold and silver aren't disappearing. They're becoming the anchor in a world of floating code. Money will evolve technologically, but it will always revolve around trust. And digital systems can't replicate 5,000 years of human belief in tangible value. The future of money? Digital convenience built on physical truth. The code will change, but the collateral won't. Because in every era, old or new, gold stays the final receipt.
Consciousness, grave misunderstanding within one's consciousness of the relationship of thought and the mechanics thereof. So this, again, it feels super strong in terms of the concepts or the different examples that we've touched on. They're very relatable, really universal. And then you also mentioned 21-day transmutation.
yes, you want to talk about
Yeah,
that?
just briefly to wrap things up, because oftentimes we want that exponential change, but sometimes people feel like it's not happening fast enough. Like would you speak about the idea of materialization of thought, being able to see changes, and based on this card, it sounds like the moment we think a thing, it's happening, but I think there's varying levels and degrees of awareness of it matriculating its way through our experience.
I think it's so interesting that you asked about this because there's this vast misunderstanding that we all know we create with our reality and we can see it, and most people accept that some level and degree they are creating their reality. But often people think when a thing doesn't happen, they think they're not doing it. But sometimes the length of time it takes depends on what's being built.
Black rice take longer to cook than
Yes,
quinoa or white rice.
that's right. Building a global system takes longer than building a tent.
Yeah,
Especially
especially one of those pop-up tents. Like, it just little minimal work, but
so if you're building a pop-up tent, the check may be in the mail.
excuse me, is that even building? And I'm going in on it because I feel like our minds have been
Yes.
conditioned to want reality, to expect the grander things, such as building a new world, new community, but through the efforts of that would be equivalent to a pop-up tent.
The effort is, I want to go to the grocery store, buy the food, and make my dinner. And if there's more effort than that, like, where's my manifestations? If I have to hold the line in the frequency, because every time you dip and you don't believe, you leave the line. Yeah.
And they start going in the other direction.
You start going in the other direction, or if you're in a gathering with people who don't, but say they do,
So this is so interesting because in the conversation, I'm seeing the mechanics of life at play, where, and also just how pertinent it is for us to understand those mechanics, because it's like you could ignore life and think that, I don't know, something out there that's the problem, where, like you said, not holding the line, it starts regressing.
Right.
And I think that sometimes we may think like, oh no, I walked away and it's still there. Like it's not sliding back.
It could still be there if you were still committed. But if your thought is not holding it there,
Whoa.
that's a
I'm
thing.
like, is that even possible? Like walk away? Well, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could
like mentally,
you
like
could
stuff.
you could mentally go to chase something else. You have a lot of interests.
Yeah.
You could decide you're going to go research
Yeah.
something.
Like, stay right there. Willpower. Don't leave. It's like that
And there's
mental
no-
multitasking.
Yeah, and you're not working against it, but it's
Yeah.
not growing.
Yeah.
It's not growing.
Which that's better than it regressing
Yes,
back, and then you're like,
it is,
I
and
thought.
that's what happens with most people is they just find something else of interest. But I'll give you a good example. What's the comedian's name who's very popular right now? And he said he read 100 books. And
Cat Williams.
so I think his story is very interesting, and I don't know all the details, but what I gather is that he wasn't being picked up by the people who produce comedy shows all over the country. So he was making CDs and selling them out of his car. Then he was meeting comedy club owners and making deals. And then so he managed to circumvent the system. We could all do that, but we don't think of it that way. He was holding the line to his vision. Year after year, and maybe it's 20 years in now, and he's on everything.
I think it's actually longer than that.
Well, however long, the point is that he didn't do the system. A person wants to sing a song, you got to go to the people who produce songs singing people.
Yeah, and you got to do some things for
Yeah,
it.
but then there are those who don't. A few get through the cracks.
Yeah.
So that is our example. Our example is, you say, well, the system's against me, or they won't let me. People have told me that. Yeah. They're not going to let you do that. I laugh. You're right, if they had control over me, they wouldn't. But since they don't, since they can't control me, that's not what's going to happen. So I think we should know with our manifestations, those thoughts in the background affect the outcomes. If we think, oh, they're not going to let us, or that seems impossible, or that can't be real, or they don't know, I can't see how that could happen, then you're not going to see how it happens. You have some of it you may have to let go. You may just have to see the end picture so that you don't interfere with your manifestation.
So I have learned that that's part of my business. Like all that in the middle stuff, look, Tarvars, that's none of your business. You don't have the bandwidth, the RAM.
You only know 4% of what's going on in this room.
Right? So, let me just focus on, because, the infinite possibilities of how a thing could happen, and but trust in that. But I want to go back to what you're saying, and, we're close to the end here, but just how important it is to be aware or conscious of what we're even thinking about the things that we desire. This is how we could be actively working against ourselves through what's exemplified as limitation through they won't let me, whoever they is.
Yeah, I mean, I've been hit with that. Like, who do you think you are? They're not going to let you do that. I pay no attention.
You be like, look at here. Look at here. I don't even know who they is. Like, don't even.
What makes you think that they is greater than me?
Right.
What makes you think that? Because you don't know that I'm a sovereign being in development, that I don't know I'm a sovereign being in development. Just because you don't see yourself that way, so you can't see me that way. But, yeah, so there's all of that.
I encourage you to get you some of this, some of that sovereign freedom energy. And I think that's what's really needed to, again, think the new thought. Again, this is going back to what we were saying, making sure nobody's all up in the house, unwanted. And you've spoken about the idea of, in our live stream today, speak to the thought forms.
Yes.
Like something that's telling you, oh, you can't do so. Hey, no. Matter of fact, shut up. Shut up. No. I said, matter of fact, get out. Go. And then you just kind of focus in another direction. But would you speak on that last idea just before we go about the power of like speaking to thought forms? Some people are aware that thoughts are things, but like this takes it to a more real level. We actually talking to the thought like, hey, no, stop that.
Well, I think you also have to understand that people are a mass of completed ideas. They are the thought form. Like you are a thought form.
Yeah, I'm the thought form. Many thoughts have
And I'm a thought
accumulated to
form,
make
and
Tarvars.
some of it's more disciplined than other aspects of it. Some of it's more congruent. Some of it's more laser-like. Someone is speaking to you from the point of view of limitation and scarcity. You may ask them to leave the room.
So this is like in real life. You're like, look, I'm gonna need you to go. I'm gonna need you to
Like you can't stay at my house.
Get your limited behind.
So if it's a thought form in your head that says you can't do that, that's not how things are done. You know you have to go through all the proper channels and go through all the proper parties, and you have to do what they say. And if that's what your head is telling you, ask your head to stop talking to you. Nicely in the beginning.
Be like, you know, we going to bed. Cut the lights off. Lights out.
Yes. Just speak to the thing, the voice in your head is not you. That is the anti-life that has been insinuated into you through the customized education that has been given to you to relieve you of freedom. That's that voice. How do you feel about that? You may use the reality of how you feel to speak about it. You can say, get out of here. I'm not listening. You're a liar. Leave. Because it is. Anything that limits you, that's telling you you cannot have, you cannot be, you should not want, is not in your favor, and it is anti-life. Because life, look outside at the trees, they're not yelling no at you. They're not telling you you want to fly? Start flapping your wings. You know, it's important for us to not mistake the voice in our head for who we are.
All right, so I got another question because this voice in the head thing. All right, so because what if people are like, I be hearing voices. Don't worry, we ain't gonna tell nobody on you. I be hearing voices. How does someone move themselves into the space of hearing the true voice, like the voice of the divine, or what people may refer to as their higher selves?
You should ask, this is the signal that all created beings have. We have a signal that we can call for, the truth of the signal. The signal will always support you in everything, even if it's like dusting you off and standing you up after you got knocked down. You will always be supported. Anything that's saying things to you that are limiting or depraved or don't uplift you is the anti-life experience that does get into our heads through our food, water, and air. It doesn't make you evil, but it certainly identifies that there is evil. And you could separate yourself from it by your decision to do so. You hear something that's saying, be afraid. You're like, get out of here. I'm not going to be afraid. You know, like, that's not what divinity and the signal from creation sounds like. The signal from creation sounds like, move to the left. And you don't have to be afraid.
Yeah.
Don't drive right now. Stay in the house. You know, don't sleep with that person. That's what the signal sounds like. It doesn't sound like you're dirty, you're horrible, you're terrible. So the signal is in all of us. It comes in through the crown chakra. You may call for the truth and the signal will have more room to get through. Call for the truth often, repeatedly, with gusto. Do it with your full chest. I want the truth.
Say it with your chest.
So we're going to end for today. Before you ask me
Yeah, I don't
another
got no more. No, I actually had a thought of like, that's such a beautiful way to end because you spoke to the things that I actually wanted clarification, like for our audience.
Happy.
You know, the nuance.
Yes,
in the voice.
I'm really glad that we did, but we thank you so much for joining us, and we hope that you will join us again. May this assist in some way. We give it to you with honor, respect, and gratitude. Thank you.